Rugby is it's the game played in heaven. It's the game. It builds character first.
One thing I know about Pacific Islanders, they're everywhere around the world and they're willing to help. So that's part of our job, is making sure we put them in the right place.
A big part of this program has been around understanding more structure. How does attack structure look? How does a defence system look around us? It's certainly not taking what they're good at away. It's going, here's your toolbox, this is what you're fantastic with, and here's some more skills. It's going to make you a more complete rugby player.
I think the biggest thing from World Rugby's perspective is we want to build and grow the game so it can be as competitive as possible.
Their body, physically, they're built for the game. It's dynamic, it's powerful, and that's the Polynesian body, very fast twitch, explosive. The body suits the game.
Rugby, it's just a game, but the things that go on behind the scenes, the hard work, the brotherhood, the fraternity, all those things are a big part of it, and I just love every moment of it.
Kia ora, boys. Look, firstly, thank you so much for the invitation to come into your changing rooms. I understand that the change room after games is quite a special place, so thank you so much for the invitation in. My name is Willie Rickards. I'm the head coach of the Pacific Island Combine. I want to thank you guys, the players, for your massive contribution over the last month around making this tournament a wonderful tournament. I think this is a great opportunity for the players, for you guys to put your hands together and thank your staff and management for all the efforts that they've put in over the last few weeks. Just a message to the boys who missed out. It was a very, very tough group of players to pick. The key message I want to deliver to you guys is it's really important that you're getting feedback from your coaching staff around what you need to keep working on. Okay, then you can go away back to your villages back home and keep sharpening the axe and working really hard at those things.
Makes space. Takalua. Piatau attacks the line beautifully. Fiver in open space. Fiver! Ratrandra skips past one. Skips past two. In goes the money! It took a while to come. But that is a Fiji special. Time now this week, short side, and here comes the try for Rusu.
The Pacific Combine is an initiative run and delivered by World Rugby in cooperation with the Fiji and Samoan and Tongan rugby unions and the Pacific rugby players.
It's all about opportunities. We have the talent, it's our greatest asset, it's developing their talent and giving them opportunities.
So we've condensed the program. I think given the demographic of the player being of a younger age, we decided to put more emphasis on assessing the players throughout the tournament. We're putting a stronger focus on understanding the player, why they're playing, what they're playing for and what they want to do. And that all collectively comes together to mould and drive each athlete into what they want to do and what they want to achieve in their rugby career. Okay, so first of all, welcome. Welcome to the 2020 Pacific Combine. On behalf of myself and all the staff, congratulations on your selection into the program. Ultimately, that's where you guys need to be, that's where your goals are. We want to be seeing you in France and at Rugby World Cup 2027, playing there.
Thanks, Tomo. Hey boys, just while I'm setting up, can you stand up and sit next to someone new?
I think the most important thing, and certainly the learning I had last year, is around you've got to break down barriers, especially in the islands, because it's such a respectful culture. So the youth will respect the elders. Here I find our Pacific brothers are a bit more reluctant to speak out. We try and, as a coaching group, so Totai and then Daryl Gibson, we had a real purpose around taking the mickey out of each other a little bit and talking around the importance of us all being on the same level. Because I feel if you can break down those barriers, the players are going to be more forthcoming and connect with you more and want to ask more questions. So we're trying to create an environment where they feel comfortable.
Look, at their age, you know, if they've got, if they're disciplined and they're clear in what they want to do and what they want to achieve, you know, they would be trying to soak as much information as they can from us. You know, because like I said before, we've been there, we've done that, we've experienced a lot of things, living overseas, playing international, earning money for a living. So that's what they want to do. And, you know, if they've got that mindset to learn, you know, they're like little sponges at the moment. They'll soak up as much information as they can to try and help them get where they want to go.
For these boys here in the combined, I think they've been working hard and earned the place in this program. It's good for them. All we have to do is work hard from here on.
One of the things we are trying to find out is how well these guys are suited to play professional rugby. So we've been doing some basic assessments on them in terms of their acceleration, their top end speed, their leg power, their endurance, and also on their body composition, height, weight, etc., just to see how suitable they are to play in professional leagues around the world.
The general preference here for running. They enjoy that side of the game, running and supporting and keeping the ball alive. Finding a combination between those skills that come very naturally and instinctively to them to the other non-glamorous parts of the game that you need to be successful. For them to progress and go to the next level, they've got to be shown what that level looks like and what's required and expected of me at that level. So, you know, that's a combination of, hey, if you want to move and get better, these are the things you should be doing.
You've got to find the balance because you don't want to overcoach the island guys. You know, they've got some natural flair and ability to play the game, so you don't want to overcoach them. But there are some basic things that they need to keep working on, like simple stuff like body height in contact, getting your work on the ground right when you've got possession. So those things need to underpin that flair and that X factor. And if they can do that, you know, you'll have a special product.
Part of the process is about educating them about what it's like to be a professional rugby player. And in professional rugby environments, lots of things they do will be monitored, so they'd have to get used to things they get and understand what they're being used for as well. So part of the process has been about educating them around those technologies like GPS. We've been using an opto-jump system to measure their jump heights, etc. And there's something they haven't necessarily been familiar with, but it's something that they would be exposed to if they were to be playing professional rugby.
Combine that power and making sure they're all organised and connected, you know, that can be quite a force. The skill in coaching is getting them to that point, and I think, you know, as a coach, that's a real challenge. And yeah, I'm quite intrigued by that and trying to find and modify your techniques to get that.
Mate, with rugby, I mean, what do you want out of rugby? Like, what's your goal?
Like, do something that I know I would love and have a passion for, and that can actually provide for family and stuff instead of. It's always been my dream to play professional rugby when I was little.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a completely different environment, you know, just the way they conduct themselves, the way they look after themselves. They're very, very humble. They don't always come and ask, but you can see they're loitering around and they want you to almost approach them and say, can I help you? And that's what it was like in the beginning, but now it's got a lot better, and a lot of the boys will just now come up straight away and just say, oh, you know, I need this looked at or that looked at. But yeah, they're an incredible group, you know, and to have sort of 3 different nationalities here as well and just see how they kind of interact and mingle is awesome.
For me, I'm not really good at the classroom, to be honest, but when I grow up, and this is the only things that I'm thinking that I'm really good at, it's play rugby, and this is what I'm going to be able to support my family, you know.
An awesome demonstration, boys. I just want to tidy up one little bit of it. Okay, so when we talk about positive versus negative, so if I come to the body, bang, and I get to here, okay, that's a negative action, okay, because he can't compete. Yeah. If I go past it, and then end up off my feet, that's still a positive action, okay? We allow guys to be off feet, but you've got to go past and through. Work really hard to chase your feet and get as close or past the guy on the ground as you can, okay? Because that's a positive action. Make sense? Yes. Sweet. Awesome. Well done, boys. One more.
Yeah, I think the purpose of what we're trying to create as a coaching group is the players have to lead more. So when the game starts, the coaches are up in the coaching box. We have very little influence on the game. The players have to lead. So we're trying to create an environment where they're talking a lot more, asking a lot more questions. So sometimes the autocratic, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to play, doesn't work. Because they have to get used to coming up with solutions out on the field by themselves. So I think that's important.
My mom, my grandparents always tell me, if you see something that's wrong, fix it, and that's such an important skill to have, if there's something wrong, ask someone who knows better and learn from it. That's the only way we can get there. And to always see yourself as a work in progress, I think is one, a good attitude, and two, like just a great skill in life, no matter what you're doing.
As a staff and a coaching group, we've been working really hard over the last couple of weeks since we've been here around making sure that we're doing our job really well, so we can select the right kids and we can make the right assessments and then potentially place them in different programs around the world. So yeah, I think we understand the consequences of our decisions and how they can influence so many people in Samoa, Tonga and Fiji.
Adapting to your audience and adapting your techniques and communication styles that suit the team and get that transference, using metaphor and really simple language and ideas that they can readily attach to.
Obviously, I want to play overseas and make some good money and hopefully play in a World Cup or two for Fiji. But the main goal is just probably to have made enough to look after my family that I'll hopefully have later on. And yeah, that's the main goal. But yeah, definitely I want to play for Fiji and yeah, go and play overseas, see what the world's like.
Good to get some world-class coaches in, so we can improve our skills and that. It's good, just to, and especially with all the Samoans and Tongans. Yeah, it's good to bond with them as well. After we just spend a week coaching them and that. But yeah, it's good learning experience. Yeah.
We're just all brothers, Pacific doesn't matter, it's just one ocean. Yeah.
We're staying at a nice hotel in Fiji. Everything's laid on. It's a nice hotel room. There's nice food. A lot of these boys, the Samoan, Tongan and Fijian boys, certainly aren't living like that back in their villages. We're asking them to change parts of their behaviour, but there's still a part of us that's trying to push them. So when they are on the field and under pressure, they got to talk to each other and come up with solutions.
There's a lot of distractions for these guys, especially at their age. But if they want to reach a point, and if their mission is to earn money overseas, they've got to work hard at it.
We've got such experience, they've got such such a CV, but the way they talk to us is we're equals, yeah. And Coach Willie was always driving we're equals, ask questions, and legends like Totai Kefu, and he comes down to us on a one-on-one level, and it's really inviting and it's easy to learn in that environment.
Lovely, wonderful moment.
Mate, I love playing. That was the pure enjoyment for me, and I probably still have that mindset. I was just fortunate enough that we started to get paid for it. So back then we were transitioning into a professional era, hadn't quite turned really professional. The guys now are in the thick of it. I mean, the demand on them, both physically and psychologically, is enormous. So, yeah, I've always, I don't know if I could have survived these days with all the amount of training and extra stuff that I have to do.
Everything you do in rugby has to have an outcome. You don't give a pass unless something's on, or you don't kick for space if there's no space. Just things like that. It's really just also the basics. Coach Kefs, he's been really drilling us on simple things you learn at kachi level, going to ground, placing long, all those things, and it's really good.
Yeah, no, it's a lot to take in. So, just spend the night just going through your notes and just trying to take in whatever you could. Yeah.
Pacific Island players have got a certain value set, and part of that is that support, and New Zealand could call that whanaunga, the connected network. And the one thing I know about Pacific Islanders, they're everywhere around the world and they're willing to help. So that's part of our job, is making sure we put them in the right place.
It was a really good time not only to assess them through fundamental areas that professional rugby players need to be assessed in, but to understand them as humans better. It's a big shift if and when the potential opportunity comes for them to be able to travel overseas and play in global competitions. So we need to understand that they're mature enough to be able to make that shift, and working with the unions, we need to be able to offer a recommendation that we think that's the best development path for the union and the player.
The three islands, we're a brotherhood. We obviously, when we get on the field, we knock each other's heads in. But the development of the three of us locally is vital for rugby in the Pacific. Like we said, we get a lot of second generation, like myself, played for Fiji. If we're relying on that talent, eventually that's going to run out, because we're not going to have grandparents born in Samoa, Fiji or Tonga. So we have to develop from within. The base has to be strong within our countries, and Samoa and Tonga is just as important to me as Fiji. If we don't develop together, we're going to lose rugby within the Pacific.
Obviously, World Rugby, we want to, as part of our legacy into the islands, we want to continue to develop those on-island high-performance staff. So we haven't not only had coaches in, we've had game analysts, we've had physios and strength and conditioning coaches as well.
The game certainly wouldn't be as good without the wonderful input that our Pacific Island people have brought into the game. But it's everything they bring around culture and who they are and values, and yeah, the game would be missing a lot without that.
Yeah, I enjoy working with grassroots, you know, the pathway teams, opportunity to give back. But at one stage I was one of them. So having ex-players, players have been there, done that before, is a great thrill from their perspective. So, mate, I really love it. I enjoy it.
It's a wonderful program to be involved in. Yeah, you're changing people's lives. And why I jumped at the opportunity to be involved in the program. And that's the great thing about our game. You know, it doesn't matter what culture, you've got an influence to affect people's lives. So that's yeah, it's really nice to reflect on that.
To be honest, I wouldn't think of this a couple of years ago. I wasn't even playing rugby, so yeah, it's just a blessing to be here with all these boys, all the Tiltai Kefu, Wallabies, all the Dale Gibson, the World Task coach. Yeah, it's good to just be in the presence with everyone. Yeah.
I thought coaching was more simple than playing, but it's way different. So, like in playing days, used to just training, after that the hotel off, then prepare for the next session. But for coaching, it's different. So you got to work on the field and off the field as well. So there's more time in preparations, planning, stuff like that. So it's I'm glad I'm here doing that. Get back into rugby.
It's part of, I'd probably say him, Ifremi Waranga. He's my cousin. He was in the 2007 World Cup when they beat Wales. He was my first inspiration, because I met him, and yeah, seeing what they did in 2007 really helped me my aspirations to become flying Fiji.
Seeing the athletes and how much they love the sport, and knowing myself from where I've come from, the opportunities that it can give you, and seeing them grow and develop, and those opportunities come to the forefront, that's what really excites me and engages me, and that's why I love what I do.
I always ask stuff around preparation, be prepared to play, and what do I need to get better. That's always been the stuff that I've been interested in. And even now being a coach, I always need to be prepared for my coaching sessions and my lesson plans and all that kind of stuff, because you just don't want to be left, I suppose, in that position of not knowing what's going on. I've always liked to be prepared.
Right now, I can feel it's real now. I can feel it I can smell it, to be honest. If it's the islands in front of me, and then I'm not going to give up until I get to that island.
There are 20 teams at the Rugby World Cup, and if we can have the most competitive Rugby World Cup, that's not only going to lift and grow the game from a viewing standpoint, engaging the consumer, but it's also going to lift the standard of the player involved as well.
You know, rugby it's connecting the world. You know, it's really driven me, and I really want to, get out of this camp and start training and start talking to my coaches and seeing what areas I can improve on to fit better the template that these coaches are telling us to get into if we want to make it big in rugby. And yeah, I want to chase it all the way, see how far it goes.
It's a joy to coach players who are so ambitious and want to do well and really get down to the grassroots. These guys are really hungry for an opportunity, and it's great to try and help them along their journey and along their way.
I suppose I've got a coaching mindset now, and I just want to get in there and help and give back to the game.
Doesn't matter what you do, do what you're passionate about and work hard at it. Don't let it go begging. I think that's the main thing I've learned from this. I don't know how, but I just feel like if you're passionate about something, put your 100% in it to chase it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what you're doing, anything. It doesn't have to be rugby, it can be architecture, it can be being a doctor, it can be planting trees to save the environment. Just as long as you're passionate about it, chase it hard. Yeah.
So how hard are you chasing it?
Pretty hard. Yeah, trying my best.